Good morning. Today we are going to have a new lecture on price elasticity of demand. We have already covered this concept before. It means the percentage change in quantity demanded as a result or divided by percentage change in price. So this is the rule we are going to use or apply. So to make it more detailed, PED equals delta Q, it means QD2 minus QD1 divided by P2 minus P1 multiplied by P1 over QD1. So we are going to have new data for the previous or the first price and then the second price. And then we are going to find QD1, it means the first action and first reaction. QD1 is the reaction for P1. And then what is the second reaction for P2? Let's make it more clear. Given the following data, determine the type of PED in each of the following cases. So here we have an example. You might have some other numerical examples in your exam. And you are required to find what is the value of PED and what is the type of price elasticity of demand. So here in the first example, we have P1 equals 10. So the first price was 10. What is the reaction at this price? QD1 equals 20, as you see. And then there is a change happened. P1 changed to P2. So P2 equals 8. So the price decreased from 10 to 8. And then, obviously, the quantity demanded, when price decrease, quantity demanded will increase. And the new value is 24. So to calculate price elasticity of demand, we might have two ways. The first way is percentage change in QD, as you see in the first row, percentage change in QD as a result or divided by percentage change in price, or the detailed rule. Today we are going to apply the detailed rule, and next time or next lecture, inshallah, we are going to apply the first one, which is easier. So PED, we are going to substitute in the equation. Q2 equals 24 minus QD1 equals 20 divided by P2, which is 8 minus 10 multiplied by P1 over QD1. P1 from the given data, 10 over 20. So we are going to use it mathematically, and we are going to have the final result is absolute value of equal 1 minus 1. Of course, again, negative, I'm going to ignore it. I'm not going to look for the negative sign because it shows what's happening. What's happening is when price increase, QD will decrease and vice versa. So there is two actions and reactions which are opposite to each other. So when we have calculated it and we found the result is -1, so remember what is the type of PED equals 1. Here you see it, unitary elastic demand. And then I'm going to make a refreshment for your mind, unitary elastic demand with a C curve, Look back for the previous lectures of price elasticity of demand. Let's move to the other example. Here we have another example, P1 equals 5, P2 equals 20, QD1 equals 4, QD2 equals 1. How to calculate it? The same way, QD2 minus QD1, which is 1 minus 4 from the previous row, divided by P2 20 minus P1, which is 5, multiplied by P1 over Q1. P1, 5 over QD1, 4. Just substituting with the same way. So here, after simplifying the equation or the result, we will have the result is equals minus 1 over 4 or quarter. Quarter, of course, is less than -1. So what is the type of this price elasticity of demand? Because it's less than 1, so it is inelastic demand. Again, refreshment. What are the types of products for PED less than 1? They are necessary goods like oil, rice, bread, the necessary goods that the consumer depends on his life. Number 3, we have P1 equals 10, P2 equals 7, QD1 equals 4, QD2 equals 16. What is the solution? Again, applying the same rule, we will have the negative 10. Negative 10 is more than 1, or 10 more than 1, forget the negative sign. So 10 is more than 1, so we have an elastic demand. Elastic demand means luxury good. Again, look back for this topic in your lectures and you would find what is the way we draw this curve. It's a flat curve, flat curve. In the previous slide, it was inelastic, steep curve, steep curve. Again, let's move to the next slide. Here we have P1 equals 5, P2 equals 20. So action, first action, price was 5. And then we have a movement or a change, P2 equals 20. QD1 equals 4, QD2, look, it's the same. QD does not change, so it's 4. Again, PED, we are going to substitute. Of course, there is no change in QD. It means delta QD equals 0. So, again, to remember and to make a refreshment, what is the type of price elasticity of demand in this case? It is perfect inelastic demand. What do we mean by perfect inelastic demand? Very necessary good with constant amount of consumption like medicines or salt. And then we are going to make a refreshment again. Please look back for the previous lectures which was talking about price elasticity of demand. What is the way that the curve looks like? It is vertical, okay? So vertical means there is no change in QD. Let's move to the final example. P1 equals 5, P2 equals 4.9. Look for this example. If I'm going to sell a product with the price is 5, if I'm a seller and I decided to decrease the price with a very small amount, so the new price is 4.9, which is very small movement by decrease, of course. So the reaction is very huge. Quantity demanded from my store will be increasing from 4 units to infinity. It means there is an infinity demand for my store because I just decreased the price with 0.1. So that's what I've written. When price decrease with a very small amount, the reaction in QD increases to infinity. Infinity means that the consumer is going to ask for the whole products in this store. On the other side, if P1 equals 5, P2 equals 5.1, QD equals 4. What is the reaction if I decided to increase the price with 0.1, very small amount? The QD will decrease until it reaches 0. So there is no demand for my product at all because I decided to increase the price with 0.1. Again, increasing prices with very small amount decreases the quantity demanded from my store to 0. From the previous reactions in QD decreases till it reaches 0, we notice that the reaction is very huge relative to the action in prices. So what do we call this demand? Perfect elastic demand, and it's homogeneous goods in perfect competition market like newspaper or petrol. Again, look back for the way we draw the curve and you would find it what? Horizontal curve. Thank you. See you next lecture, inshallah.